God, we got some new multiplayer maps. I can say one of them I like, which I dislike at the same time, which is the third map you see here. Looks good. Very first one, yeah, it's horrible. I don't like the whole portal aspect. The second one, okay, is okay. I'll give it that. It's okay. I don't mind it. If it pops in, I can't say it's horrible. I can't say it's good either. The third one I can say is great. It's a throwback, but at the same time, with like some of the different stuff, kind of makes it feel a little weird. I have yet to play the fourth map. Okay, I have yet to play it. So I can't tell you guys how that is. But heading into Black Ops 7, we're going to go into end game. Now, this needs an update because, again, I'm clicking end game, but I bet you if I go click play, it's going to pull up all the campaign stuff. Okay, it'll pull up all the campaign stuff. It's weird. It should only be end game. If I'm clicking just end game, the only thing should be there is just play. When I click it, it should already be finding a match to end game. I would love an update to fix that. Okay, but we are leveling the new LMG. We do already have a few attachments onto it because I already did pre-level it and do, well, this to it. But it's okay, guys, because we are going to be changing a few stuff around too as I unlock, but I wanted to build for recoil and do that. We are legendary. I will say it is weak and strong at the same time. The reason I'm saying that is because on the full auto version with a pretty good mag, it's good. I will say this thing, literally, if you try using the belt fed or whatever it's called, which is the one that gives you 500 rounds, don't use it. They need to patch it because you only get to use it for like 2 seconds and then you're overheated. Okay, it's horrible. I will go ahead and put that out there. So Activision, there needs to be a little bit of a fix to that weapon and the belt fed modification or whatever it's called, which is the 500 mag that allows it to overheat if used too much. It's not even being used too much. Like literally, if I set it to shoot to get the faster kills at a little bit of a faster fire rate, it heats up within 2 seconds. Like you get overheated. Literally, it's that fucking quick. Okay, it needs a little bit of a fix. Okay, on 500 rounds, let me shoot 100 rounds before overheating. Because let's be honest, your base mag, like let me show you guys. Okay, what I'm talking about here. So the base mag to this one, well not base, but you know, like this one is 150 rounds. This one's 180 rounds. They don't overheat. I could set it to the rapid fire mode and shoot all 180 rounds without it overheating. So why is the belt? Yeah, it's belt fed, which is the Samarsky overdrive belt. Okay, gives it 500 rounds. How come I can't shoot 180 rounds before it overheats? I can only shoot like 40 or 50, and then it's like, oh, your gun is too hot, overheated. Okay, I need to be able to go through 180 rounds before overheating with rapid fire turned on onto the gun. I already used my thing because of the fact of I had to go with this, which unlocks at a really high level, like nearly maxing out the gun. So I used it for the damage range and recoil stability. All right. Figured I'd show that. I wanted to show that. But as you guys can see, it doesn't have like a search function where it just hits search. It brings up the missions, and then I have to click in game, okay? If I'm clicking in game as the main menu option, just let me hit search match, not select what game mode. If I'm in game and I'm choosing hold on. To make this real, okay? There's campaign and there's in game. Why, if I click in game, is the campaign an option? Okay, to select game mode. I already selected in-game in the main menu, which already selects this game mode. Oh, not even this one. See, let me select the mission. I'm not even in campaign, I'm in in-game. And technically, in-game is campaign, because if I go here, I can scroll left, and there's in-game. But at the same time, if I'm clicking in-game, and it's the first option that pops up down here, okay, as in this option, I should be able to just hit search match COD. It's been this way since literally before you done season 1, and you still haven't even fixed that. It's a headache, especially for console when you click it and you're like, oh yeah, we're in in-game. You click it again, and let's say people aren't ready for it. They just clicked in-game. They click on in-game at the bottom left, and they're like, okay, I'm searching a match. They set their controller down. Maybe they start eating. Maybe they run to the bathroom and come back, and then they realize, how come my game hasn't started? And then they have to literally click in-game 2 times to start it. Is annoying. Okay? It's highly annoying. Fix it. So guys, I'm just going into a party right quick so I'm not annoying these lovely people to the right with the names you see going, or anyone else around me, because it is AoE speak. I can talk to someone when I'm not even in their crew. So, yeah. But pretty much, guys, I can show you I can shoot through all my ammunition here at the RIP with the full auto, with the rapid fire being on, if I wasn't using the burst. But you guys are getting the idea of how horrible the option is with how I'm having to tell you guys about it. Because it is. It's absolutely horrible. Give me a drink of me. Drinkily drink. Alright. We are right now in OK bit. Oh yeah, I forgot my game is glitched. So if you guys are loaded into the new season after the updates, your game will glitch. And when it does, you're able to put, like, I could show you when we get back to main menu. But you guys can see there's 295 rounds in my gun right now, and if I was to, I can't even switch the fire rate to the gun because we have the burst mod on. This is a legendary weapon. We are setting in tier 2. Okay? And here's how much damage this weapon does, if I can find the actual person to shoot. That's tier 3, down in the red smoke, I believe. No, we're good. Here we go. There is a person right here, an enforcer. That is a 5-round burst on a legendary. Tier 2. I mean, yeah, I'm 47, so I'm not doing the max damage I possibly could be doing, but you guys get the idea. This is a tier 2 zone with a legendary weapon, and it is horrible. To be honest, it would probably feel alright in its tier 2 when I do reach level 50, when I do reach level 60. When I get the full damage output to the weapon. But yeah, that is horrible. The new LMG needs a damage buff. Especially in in-game. It needs a damage buff, okay? It's basically a 4 or 5 round burst. and it was horrible. Hi, random player. I know this area is going to be clear. We are technically in Tier 1 now. We are over here. Let's go over to the factory. It wouldn't let me look up anymore. It's kind of game falling on that one and mine at the same time for choosing to try to do Spider-Man, but yeah. Oh, it's one of these. We have to find the weird object. I'm not going to worry about it because I don't feel like shooting a mimic, but right here, see, Tier 1, great. I feel like that would feel good, right? When you get in here, you're like, oh, it's Tier 1. I'm absolutely wrecking. You simply move to Tier 2. Good luck, you need 2 bursts. 2 or 3, depending on what you're shooting at, to actually get a kill. Horrible, baby, horrible. So you can see I'm on damage 3 now, at level 48. Alright boys, let's go into a Tier 2 zone and see what a legendary damage 3 weapon does. The one thing I will say I do like about this gun is the ammo pool. Like, being able to have 295 rounds. Hold on, let's go hit this right quick. And then head over to Tier 2. Ba 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 ba. Boop. Okay. It does get 1,000 on backup. Hold on. Suppress. Got used to other games at the moment. I heard a gunshot over there. Hold on. Alright. 1,000 on backup is actually nice. Like, literally, it does 1,000. Feels like the old version of the PPSH, right? When it comes to the ammo pool. If you guys know, you know. If you guys don't know, it's, I believe it was Cold War, right? When it had, like, the, It could have been Vanguard. Actually, you know what? I think it might have been Vanguard. Oh, I actually killed him already. Nice. We're still in Tier 1 though, that's why we're killing so quick. Get the airdrop. Pretty much. I'll take the sentry gun, definitely. And, no, we're in Tier 2. Alrighty. Tier 3 damage, legendary Tier 2 now became a one-shot in Tier 2. Although I do have that really weird sensation that I know it's going to be horrific if I went to tier 3 or tier 4. If I went over here or into here, my gun would be horrible again. And that's what I'm saying. It needs a little bit of a damage buff. For the burst mod, at least. The burst mod needs a damage buff. Make it do like 2 on the damage. Instead of 3, no 4, just a 2. And I feel like that would be really good. So keep what it already does and just add 2 damage to it, where it upgrades the damage a little bit. So you get 2 of the damage up arrows. And then I feel like that would be serviceable enough. Because realistically, guys, we're talking about guns, not Nerf war shit. We're not shooting BBs. It's not a pellet rifle. It's a gun. Okay? It should be ouches, not ding, 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 dings, okay? Like, when someone gets shot at, they should be going, oh, fuck, 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 shit, fuck! Not... ooh, yeah, right there, baby. Right there, yeah, that's the itch right there. Like, bro, that's not how guns in games should feel, brother. Okay, make people be like, oh shit, I'm being shot at, is what the intention should be. Multiplayer, in-game, all of it. Okay? That's what I'm asking for. Just that very tad bit of realism, so you don't get people eating 5 million bullets, core and hardcore. Okay? If someone gets shot at, they should be cussing and running away. So that's trying to actually reposture what is going on. Make snipers to the point where they're really good at long range. Better than ARs at long range. Let's put it that way. Better than LMGs at long range. And what do I mean by that? Okay, like, leave their damage high. Their ADS can be kind of meh. But depending on the range you are, is dependent on how much flinch they get. Right? So, like, if I was to be at that bridge over here, right? Like, that bridge, and a sniper was on that roof, right? And I'm shooting at him, with an AR, he should probably get almost no flinch. Almost none. Now, if I'm an AR, hold on, I just wanted to go ahead and ride that out, but if I'm an AR, the sniper's right there, and I'm here, okay, maybe the sniper gets a little bit of flinch, like this much, okay? That much flinch, making it a little harder for the sniper to shoot. Alright? If I am setting from... I'm on this roof, sniper's on that roof right there, and I'm shooting him at just this range, like he's standing right here, and I'm shooting at this range. When I shoot him, his flinch should be up here, or way down here, making it really hard to hit his shot. It shouldn't be me doing this to him and him just going, poop, and I'm dead. Okay? At close range, the AR should be more advantageable than a sniper is. At medium range, it should be equal and balanced. At long range, meaning that bridge to me right now, the sniper should have the best shot advantage in game. Alright? Meaning almost no flinch, still gets a one-shot kill type ordeal, okay? That's how snipers should be. Second hand, again, if I'm point blank on a sniper, even outside ADS, he should be getting this much flinch. Alright, on a sniper. Because I'm tired of snipers being able to do this right here. Let's say I'm using a sniper. Running around, running around, running around. Oh shit, I'm being shot. Got my kill. On that lucky shotgun quickscope, right? He gets it. Even though he ate already 4 bullets, he gets me in 1. That is not how snipers should feel, bro. Okay, snipers are broken. COD knows it. That's the reason they are disqualified out of any legit tournament. Alrighty? Alright, let's go do this. Don't really need to, but we'll go do it. It'll help with my levels a little bit. What you do is you wait. He's going to take a step. Oh, it's not under this one. So it's under this one. Come on, take that step. Come on, big boy. Take that step. Oh, nope. They didn't unlock this yet. So you shoot the foot to get the doorway open. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Come on, big boy. Take that step. Take that step. Pull your gun out. This makes it easier. Right when his foot lifts, boom. That's all you gotta do. That simple. You get in here. We're gonna go up top. All the way up top. And we are now gonna add on. I should be able to put it there. That's weird, it won't go. There, we'll do this. Boy, what do you think he's shooting at? There we go. Right here. Doing a little bit of robot control right quick, guys. Hold on. We gotta go around and shoot all the little red lights like that. There's that one that was on. We got 2 minutes. Nobody is shooting the little red things, bro. Went down to fall damage. We're gonna fail because these guys don't know what they're doing! We're about to get kicked out. Because we are timed to do this. Told you we're getting kicked out. Ejected. We failed it. What you do while you're in there, the little red lights that pop on, you shoot them. When they all get done, the shield in the middle drops. I don't know how hard it is for people to understand that. Because we just lost that, man. But anyways, it's okay. Almost level 50. I could have been level 50 if we actually beat the boss. If people learn to actually shoot the proper shit and get off the robots for 5 seconds. Like, get them down, we had a couple robots. Then shoot the lights. Use a kill streak. The launcher. Get that thing down to super quick. Half health, shoot a little bit of the robots, shoot the red lights, break the red lights, get him vulnerable again, kill streak or whatever, finish him off. Not hard. Activision, what in the tarnation are these lobbies you're throwing me into? I've only ever done the robot a couple times. I've done mostly the T-Rex, let's be honest. And I know how the robot works. I'm not trying to be the meanest person out there, but, like, dude, seriously? I do the T-Rex, and I know the robot. How are you going to tell me these guys don't know the fucking robot? In a lobby this big. Everybody that went into it, you cannot tell me, does not know the robot. I refuse to hear you say that they don't. With that many people, there's what, 20 people in that robot? There's no way 19 people did not know what to do. Again, no way 19 people did not know what to do. What in the lobby did I get placed into? It is not a free-to-play weekend with thousands of people clicking to play off of a free-to-play. There is no way you're telling people don't know what to do. Second, this is how I also know skill-based matchmaking, engagement, optimized matchmaking is in. I could use the same gun as someone else for engagement optimized matchmaking. Same gun. They eat 6 of my bullets, I die in 3. Same gun. Same attachments. Same bullshit. It's the same bullshit as every other COD has been. With you saying it's been reduced? Nah, it hasn't been reduced. Third, with skill-based matchmaking, you cannot tell me in a shooter game people do not use headsets. Or at least on 1.0 or higher on their kill death. You cannot tell me someone with a 1.0, which is an above average, by the way, because your average gamer is a 0.9 kill death ratio in shooters. I behold a 1.5 at the moment, moving my way to 2.0. Okay? But back to what I was saying. I behold a 1.5 KD. Why am I being thrown in with people that have the movement of a 0.9? Why am I being put in with people that don't use a headset? Why am I being put in with people that literally aim and shoot their gun with the accuracy of a 0.9? On my team. Again, how do I know they don't use headsets? Bro, a gunshot goes off. Unsuppressed. Loud as fuck weapon. Gunshot goes off in their right headset. Technically would be going off in their right headset. They look left. The sound plays on the right, and they look left. That tells me their sound is coming through their TV. It's going through a controller. It is not going to a headset or an earbud that would tell them right or left. Why is that being on my team? Why? That is skill-based matchmaking where they're trying to throw me into a match to try to balance out the teams because they threw 5 people that have the movement of a noob against people that know what they're doing a little bit. And the game realized this, so it chucks me into that lobby to try to balance it out. I don't know about you, but that ain't skill-based matchmaking. That's fuck the player over matchmaking. Okay? It is the best way to put that. Because if it was skill-based matchmaking, my 1.5 would be matched with everybody on my team as a 1.5. They would know what slide cancels are. They'd have headsets, so they can actually hear where the gunshot comes from. they would have at least somewhat of okay game mechanics and like aim and movement is the best way to put that, compared to what I literally watch sometimes. Sometimes I die to stupid stuff, as in like I'm like, okay, they weren't doing this route last time. Maybe I can go down it again or something, which is kind of stupid because usually if you've done it and you used it, they're going to be looking at it. But you do get those lobbies where sometimes you watch Punch get where literally the whole enemy team runs right, so your whole left side is clear. And they do this for like 3 times before they learn from their mistake, right? So Punch gets to do it 3 times. It does happen. So where I'm like, okay, maybe I can run that route one more time, and then I'll die to a sniper, right? And then I have to sit there and watch somebody who literally spawn camps, looking the wrong way, the bullshit. And I'm not talking about like you can tell between realistic, like the dude does not know what they're doing, to someone doing that pretend to be bad and then pop off, right? You can tell between the two because at least the one still popping off still has okay aim and centering compared to the dude that's staring at fucking toes when looking around. I'm not lying. You can tell when somebody is, while they're trying to at least move, instead of saying center mass with their gun so they can look down or up depending on the movement of the other player, you can see when they're, I love feet, give me those feet, literally like aiming at toe level, right? You could tell between good and bad players. And a lot of bad players think they're good. And I'm not going to lie about that. Okay? Crutch users that uses meta on top of like snipers, which basically should be categorized as max meta because they're basically shotguns, zero flinch, and one shot kills. Okay? But let's kind of step to the side a little bit with that. People that use that stuff think they're good. Right? People that use guns with zero recoil, fast time to kill, the best weapons in the game, and that's the only thing they use, think they're good. Okay? A good player, look at Punch. Okay? Punch, amazing. That dude I would actually put up there with pros. Let's put it this way. If somebody can go outside of meta, use the worst shit and still drop 20 kills, that's skill. Okay? That is skill. Don't get that barrier wrong where I'm dropping kills 20 plus every game, but you're stuck using the M15, zero recoil, fast time to kill. You're using all the meta shit, stuff that's easy. It's a crutch. No wonder you're dropping 20 kills a game, man. Like, yeah, you might have okay game sense, but at the end of the day, you're still using crutch weaponry. You're actually not good because good players would be able to run anything outside of meta, anything, and still drop the same kills. Skill comes from someone who can do what they're doing and they're the best at it, and they don't need a crutch to do it. That's the same with like modders, like when people cheat, right? You can't run wall hacks. You can't run aimbot and think you're good. It's a crutch. It's something that's helping you perform better. You're not performing better on your own, right? When you're using a crutch weapon, you're not on your own. You're using something the game broke to make it easy, right? Easy does not make you good. When you can grab a challenge, make it hard as fuck on yourself, and still slam, that's when you're good. All right? So let's go over the meta weapons and what to step outside of. And then when you can consistently drop 20 kills a game outside of these weapons, unless they get a buff, but outside of these weapons at the moment, and do it every match, then you're good. We're going to go over it. Okay? AK-27. Well, actually, let's go over the meta. So the meta is M15, not N. It's an M, guys, as in Mario. not Nade. Okay, it's Mario 15. Okay, M15. LMXR with the single auto. Okay, I will have to point that out with the single auto. X9 Maverick. The Maddox for ARs. Those are meta ARs. Meta SMGs. Okay? Notice I said SMGs. Dravik 45. PC 25. Again, M is in Mario. And the KGOT 7. Okay? Shotguns. Close quarter maps. The M10 Reacher. One shots. It's broken. It's basically a sniper at super close range because, again, it one-shots at close range. Built correctly. So I'll say that is basically semi-meta. Semi being the key word there. Short maps, it's meta. Long maps, long as you can keep a good little bit of distance, you're fine. But now, meta all the way. The Akita. Both regular form and dual wield. Both meta. Okay? LMGs. I'm going to have to go inside the bracket with this one and say the brand new one. The Sokol 545. The reason I'm saying this is because if you throw on the burst attachment and you build it correctly, you get 0 spread from a hip shot. Okay? So you still get the hip fire. The 5-round burst, which, by the way, if stays good in multiplayer, like it's horrible in the other game modes, we've seen that, but in multiplayer, if it stays a 1 burst kill and you can have the 0 hip fire spread, if built correctly, this gun is going to be something that's going to irritate players. We're going to call that meta. Okay? Marksman rifles. Meta here technically is all 3. If built correctly, between 1 and 2 burst shots, the M8A1. Warden, if built correctly, this will 1-tap. Okay? At most, you might need 2, depending on the hit reg of the game, but it will mainly 1-tap. It is basically hella meta. The M34 Nova line, depending on the distance you're shooting, this gun will also 1-burst people. Now, it's not always going to 1-burst because it's not consistent, but you do have the chance at 1-burst, which actually sets this inside of meta. Okay? Snipers. Meta. Let's point that out right out the gate. Meta. Just say it. Meta rifles. Just say it. It's not snipers. It's meta rifles. 0 flinch. Basically a shotgun that shoots infinite fucking range. That 1-taps again. And should we go over the no flinch? So as long as you have okay aim, and I mean literally just okay aim, the enemy team's screwed. A little bit of movement, okay aim, you're unkillable. It's meta. Okay? Pistols. I can't say there's actually a meta here, but you can build a meta version of a pistol, which would be the Jaeger 45, with the dual pistols that, if you shoot correctly, can one-shot people. So we can say, yeah, the Jaeger could be meta, but you still have to be close. You can't be a sniper distance away. You have to be kind of close up in their face to have it work properly. Now, you can hit pretty hard at distance, too, with the dual-wield version of this. I do not have the build for it, so I can't tell you what it is, but I have friends who have it. Okay? And then nothing else. So we went over the meta weapons. If you can step out any of those weapons, literally use any other weapon than what we just went over, and drop 20 kills a game, brother, you got skill. You're a pro player. You actually should go to Pro League. Okay? You actually should be called skillful. You're able to bridge a gap that a high percentage of players crutch on to think they're good. That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? If you can step out outside of any of the weapons I just labeled and drop 20 kills a game per game, Or I won't say 20 kills all the time because game consistency is fucking garbage. We know it. Meaning, one game you might actually drop 20 and they die within the first burst of a burst rifle. And then the next game, for some reason, they eat it like you're flinging cheesecakes. Okay. We understand. Which means if you only drop 10 kills the next game because the game wants to hold the enemy's hand, which is why I can say you can't actually trash talk in a Call of Duty game anymore since Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Let's be honest. Like, the holding hand that the game does so much. I've been shot by Casper the Friendly Ghost, meaning, well, not by, but at. Like, they shot Casper the Friendly Ghost and kill me because I would already be crossed the threshold behind a wall on my screen, and they're shooting the open, empty space. Notice I'm using the word empty. And somehow I fall over dead. Okay? With that going on, with, I don't know, what's the best way to put this? How about when people snipe, they don't actually hit their shot, but it still hit regs as if they do? They can shoot a little above you, a little to the right of you, and somehow you die. Again, shooting Casper the Friendly Ghost, I guess, even though like it might be a spot you've never strafed to or strafed from, and they're shooting it. Like, you never jumped, let's say. You never done a bunny hop. All you done is strafe left and right, and somehow they can shoot the air above you and kill you. Okay? It's happened. Alright. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, damage and hit reg. There's times where I pump 6 bullets in someone, and he gets to stem it off like nothing happened. He uses the same gun. Exact same gun. Literally picks it up off my dead body. Shoots a teammate of mine. Kills in 3 bullets. Which I already said, when I hit him with 3 bullets, when I shot him first, shouldn't have he been dead? Because there's no perks that give you extra health. Shouldn't have he been dead? Right? Not to mention the very other big elephant in the room. And that is, if someone wants to be ghosted, meaning like actually being able to play like you would if you're playing like a sniper campaign, like you're a sniper, you actually want to ghost, you want to be hidden, you want to use the shadows, you want to use everything to your ability, good luck. Because instead of having people earn awareness, learn how people set, and if they know there's a special spot, go the opposite direction of, right? Let's say there's a sniper that has a specific window it's hard to shoot at them, or maybe there's a spot where they can blend in very, very well. Run the other way, right? It's not hard to understand that. If you don't want to die to it and you know it's there, go the other way, especially in search and destroy. Notice, search and destroy. There is 2 objectives. Either kill the enemy team completely. There's 6 players. If you kill all 6 enemy combatants, you win that round. Or, if you're going to be smart, because you know they like to camp, instead of being the person who wants to be greedy and kill, if they have to plant the bomb, play the objective. If you know they have to run to A or B, and if the time runs out and they do not plant the time within the time-limited mode, meaning if they got 3 minutes to try to plant that bomb, when that timer hits 0, if they do not plant said bomb, they lose that round. You don't need to be greedy. It's not that hard, especially if you know the last alive is usually a camper at sense of their spawn, and you know they're going to be in the most absurd building, and it's a 1v1, and you know he never moves. Yeah, it might take longer for the round to end. Just wait him out. If you know he's not going to go plant that bomb, wait him out. Right? Just wait. Especially if you have to plant the bomb. Say you're the one planting and you know they camp their spawn. Plant the bomb. Bring the rat to you. Why run at the rat? right? Switch the role. If you're attacking, right, which by the way is planting the bomb, you got to plant the bomb. If you plant the bomb and they're in their spawn, guess what they have to come to win? If they want to win that round, they have to hold the bomb you just planted and defuse it. If they do not defuse before that timer hits 0, you won the round. You don't need to be greedy. And if you are a greedy player, plant. Guess what? If it is a rat that falls for the trap, again, like the best way I can put this, think of a rat trap, right? If you have a mouse or a rat or anything in your house, you get a rat trap or a mouse trap. You bait it, you set it, and it comes for the trap. It steps onto trap to get said food or bait item, and it gets snared. Okay, we're going to put it in the PG term of that way, so that way I can't be canceled. But exactly the same bias. If you are the attacker and you have to plant the bomb, think of you being the person and the enemy being a rat or a mouse. You're taking that trap, you're baiting it up. When you plant the bomb, imagine that be you laying the trap, like, setting the bait onto the trap and activating it. And then when your bomb is planted, it equals activating the trap, right? You can step back, watch the trap. So when the enemy comes to defuse said bomb, you are the spring in the trap and what snares the victim. Is it really that hard to understand in a shooter community that as the attacker, you actually have a pretty good advantage on the field? If played correctly in a 1v1 situation, a scenario, bait the rat trap. Don't be a hunter. Guess what? The hunted can get hunted, especially if two wolves are fighting over territory. One, and they're both territorial, but the smart wolf hides, right? He goes into the bushes, watch and stalks his prey. The wolf that's hunting him makes a mistake. Guess what? He is now the hunted. He is the one who is now getting bitten. Great analogy here. You are the hunter that has now become the hunted because you're walking into the trap, and the person who's now watching you are now the victim instead of making them the victim. Like, guys, it's not hard to understand that. Just set the fucking trap, plant the fucking bomb, bring the rat to your trap, win the round, and also, guess what? If you're someone who wants the kill, guess what they gotta come defuse if you plant it? Which means if they come over to the bomb and they're trying to defuse the bomb and you shoot them, you get the kill. You still got what you wanted while still carrying a victory for the game. Instead of letting your ego say kill, 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 run, 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 dum, 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 run, 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 right? Like a chicken with his head cut off. And the enemy playing you for what's called time, because maybe they hid very well, they didn't shoot at you, they made you run around, you didn't plant the bomb, you just gave them the round. You played yourself. Not only did you forfeit the round for your team, but you played yourself. You just became a dummy because you couldn't actually just use an IQ. You couldn't think, if I plant the bomb, he has to come to it. Guess what? You bait them. A smart hunter sets out a bait and brings the victim to him. He doesn't continuously move and hunt the victim, because then he may become the victim. Not hard to understand that, man. It's not hard. There's a reason I don't really like playing too much of Search and Destroy or multiplayer. People get too full of themselves, throw and lose games that they didn't need to. Where they could have had more kills, they lose out on kills because they just done stupid shit. Example, the best one is Search and Destroy. You might have actually dropped a 20 kill game if you would have planted the bomb, baited the, rats to come to your trap you just set and shoot them, compared to running for the rat that is now hiding, holding whatever weapon, and shooting you. You walked into their trap. Instead of being the one to bait the trap, you fell for the bait. You played yourself. Now, I will say I don't play Warzone because I can't call it Warzone when people can win with 0 kills. Let's be honest. Technically, yes, they do get a kill because the gas kills the enemy player, but technically they were in the match. They got the kill through gas plays. They didn't have to actively pull a trigger, but at the same time, it's like if I told someone to plant a bomb somewhere, even though I'm not the one planting the bomb, I'm not the one who holds the detonator, I still got those people killed. Okay, so when you hear someone say, I won a game of this with 0 kills, you didn't have to pull a trigger, but you still killed the other player using a gas play because they just didn't gas play like you did. Okay? And gas plays shouldn't even be in the game. They need to reduce the stems, make them hard to get, reduce the amount of gas mask you get, remove them out of the buy stations, remove stems from the buy stations, and have it come down to gun skill. That is how it should be, because technically it's called War Zone, not Gas Zone, okay? I'm just going to make that good, simple relevance right there. And plus, at the end of the day, I will say it is kind of boring if somebody's just sitting in a bush all day, then moving to the outskirts of a zone, and then finally running through gas. Like, dude, you just didn't really do shit for a whole hour. You just sat there. I mean, if I wanted to set in a video game for an hour, there, I'm setting for an hour in a video game. I'm not doing shit. Yes, I'm not getting XP, but you know what? I'm not doing shit. I'm at the main menu talking to you, right? I'm not actually playing. But if you could sit down and watch somebody do gas plays, you can watch somebody setting at a fucking main menu. They're both exactly the same and boring. Okay, it's not content. But anyways, mine is more of like going over what's wrong with the game and what the devs need to fix. And the headache of what Call of Duty is today, because it's not Call of Duty. Let's be honest, guys. It's Nerf of Duty because it's Nerf darts. You're shooting Nerf darts unless you're using meta, or just call it meta of Duty. Like you have to physically use meta to now gain a lot more kills because there's no actual skill into the game. Get nerfed of Duty because you're going to actively get nerfed by the game itself, not because you're actually losing your skill gap. You're literally still as good as you were, if not getting better. But at the same time, the game is forcefully making you lose compared to you losing because you actually made a dumb mistake. Okay, let's put it that way. Is the best way to put there. Again, you can't really trash talk in the game, but unless you know the dude is absolute noobus. If they're literally staring at toes, trash talk them. If they're absolutely hearing gunshots to the right and they look to the left, trash talk them. Okay? But anyways, also at the end of the day, COD, one thing I would like to say is fuck you. Because why are you muting people in game chat for using fuck, shit, cunt, damn, asshole? Like, bro, let's be honest. Yes, they're cuss words. But the end of the day, what is the rating of your fucking game, retards? I hate to say that like that, but what the fuck is the rating of the game? When you go to buy the copy of the game, especially the hard edition, and you flip the fucking case over, what does it say that the game involves? I'm pretty sure you say strong language and drugs, which means people in the game may talk about weed, cocaine, all the different drugs, while also at the same time cussing. Strong language, right, is cussing when you're talking about it in a video game. Your actual characters in the story of your fucking game say fuck. So, with that being said, I should be able to have free will of words depending on what it is. Okay? I get racism. If someone's being racist, right? Ban that. If someone's literally dropping the N word in a racist, racial way, ban it. I understand it. That ban I could understand and agree with. But when someone says fuck, why the fuck do you drop a comms ban on that? I don't care if there's fucking children in this game. If their parents didn't want to have their kid hear fuck, shit, cunt, damn, asshole, they shouldn't have bought the fucking game that says that they might hear it in it. Are we getting the grasp of concept there? It's like me saying, I'm making a game that has Skittle rainbows in it, right? And then a parent saying, well, I don't want my son to see Skittle rainbows, and still buying the fucking game that says it has Skittle rainbows in it. That's counterintuitive. If you don't want your kid to hear something, see something, don't buy a game that says it has it fucking in it. Okay? Yeah. There's a reason my fucking videos say rated R at the fucking end of them in their name, usually. To literally have like the parenthesis with the fucking R symbol, making the legit rated symbol that says R. Usually with that, you hear cuss words. It could be partial nudity. There could be, all the other shit that comes along with that rating. So if you don't want your kids seeing or hearing that, it's there on your screen. Same as your game, like when you get the game copy. Okay, let's actually take a quick little look see here. So if I actually just Google search for shits and giggles, we'll say Black Ops 7, Black Ops 7, and we'll do rating. All right. Overview for it. Let's see. Will it show its rating? I just want to see. Okay, its rating is M for mature. Okay, mature audiences is what that is. But I want to see what that M for mature is. So if we do Call of Duty, get off my phone, thank you. Oops, 7. Rating label. Okay. I want to see if I can actually see the rating label on this and what it says that it has in it. Let's do case. Okay, just for the thing, images. What I want is to see what the actual game case looks like on the back. Okay, hold on. What does it actually say here? Download mature 17 plus ESRB, but I'm looking for. Usually, I want to see the back cover, not the front cover. So, back cover. Here we go. LMG. Okay. Can I please? And blah, blah. Usually, when it has rating, it usually tells you what may or may not be in the game. That's what I'm looking for, so I can read it to you. It is not going to say, but I'm pretty sure if I look up the rating to, what was it? It's M for mature. So, here we go. M for mature, 17 plus. Blood, drug references, intense violence, sexual themes, strong language. On top of another one here that says M for mature as well with the same label type stuff from esrb.org. Can also contain partial nudity, sexual content, and violence. Then you get blood. And then guess what's also there? Strong language. Okay, literally just Google M for mature 17 plus, and you're going to literally see strong language being there on that little bit of design. So if you're putting M for mature 17 plus, that means they're going to hear cuss words. There's going to be drug references, probably. All of that other stuff. Why the fuck do I get a comms band in game if I'm using the same words your actors use for voice lines? I'm pretty sure if I went through, played the campaign, I'm pretty sure you're going to hear cuss words. So if it's in the base game and the campaign, I'm a human in real life who uses cuss words. Brother, I'm pretty sure people in your company uses cuss words. Why would I get banned for that on comms? Again, I'd understand racial, something like the N word or something against someone's culture, race, and ethnicity is understandable to ban. But nah, nah. Cuss words should not be bannable. Okay? Do you know how many times I hear people say for someone to KYS, which is to no longer be here alive, to unalive themselves, and they don't get comms banned? Do you know how many times I hear someone dropping the fucking N word and they don't get comms banned? And I mean full racist. They're like, you killed me because you're the N word or blah, 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 N word. And they're still able to talk in the video game. But yet, I get a comms banned or comms ban literally not that long ago for just being like, I'm tired of fucking campers. People literally who are setting on their fucking vagina. Somehow that gets a comms ban. But yet the few hundred people through multiple different fucking matches I hear dropping the fucking N word and they don't. And I mean full on N word, not the GGA, not, oh my God, not watching a part of their, body grow, putting the actual name of that body part in before that, right? They don't say that. They actually say the ER word, the hard ER, and they don't automatically get a comms ban. But yet I can say I hate fucking campers in the middle of a lobby, and the only word there that you could possibly get me for is a cuss word, and guess what? Cuss words are supposed to be in the fucking game at base game. I think this world needs a reality check, and game developers do too. Okay, don't put mature on there, 17 plus, where it actually states there's fucking cuss words in a game, and then ban people for fucking cussing. No, no, you can suck my dick. I'll continue to say fuck, shit, cunt, damn, asshole, all that. I will continue to say it. That's my discretion. My content's made for rated R. Your content is M for mature 17 plus, which comes with strong fucking language. So no, I will continue to use it. Now, when you start using, what is it, E for everybody? Where it's like E for everybody, and there's no intent shit, there's no shooting, the game has no fucking cussing in the base version of it, then I'll watch my tongue. I'll be PG. You could put your rating as PG, parental guidance, and guess what? You can actually remove strong language off of that. And then, yes, enforce strong language barriers. But until M as a mature 17 plus is on there, I'm gonna fucking cuss to my heart extent and exire. So fuck you and have a good day. And don't ban me over using fuck you because it's in the base game. Anyways, words are words, guys. I can say here any word I use basically be counted as a word, let's be honest. And me being a little bit uptight about it because I can say, like, racism is horrible. But again, I'm also using words are words. I'm not going to drop the N word. I hope none of my friends drop the N word. Let's be honest. All right. In reality, depending on the N word you drop, is going to either be me, I'm fine with it, or not. The GGA, which is like the term of brother or the off term of another one, calling another one that because they're part of a gang or, stuff like that. I'm not going to worry about that. If someone of a lighter skin tone says it, I'm fine with the GGA. The hard ER, that should be out of every white man's category for words to be able to be said. I agree with that. Because at that point, yes, that's racist. Now, I don't always use it. I had a friend of mine who, you know, around him said I could, but even though he said that, I never did. And the main reason for that is even with what's called a verbal pass, I still don't think if I was to use that, that would still be improper. Because yes, they said I could, but I'm still my skin color, right? As in I'm still white. Just because he gave me that verbal acute, like, being able to say it verbally and him saying directly that I can, did not change my skin color. Okay? I'm still white. That's the way I'm viewing that. So I'm going to stay respectful and not use it because I'm still white. Okay. Now, the GGA, I'll admit, I've said it. Younger, I don't use it often, but I will say, yeah, the GGA, the GA version of it, yeah, I say that's okay for anyone to say. But now the ER, no. Unless your skin color is of the persuasion that should be saying it. If you're white, no. Okay. Now I know there is like ground where like if you're mixed, they have somewhat of a right, but at the same idea, I really don't know on that viewpoint. I can't say no, I can't say yes. It's just one of those things like if you're closer to white, you shouldn't, and if you're closer onto the proper, side of things, then you can. I think it's just more of in a way that is kind of being racist in a way, if you think about it, because the actual literature term for racism or being racist is saying because of a skin color, because of a certain reason, is the reason these people can say it or can't say it, or they can do or they can't do, is off of a bias, right? That's racism at its finest. So if we was to say in all reality, guys, if racist stuff was actually gone, right? And this is not just filling on people's feelings. This is just facts. If we're going down to straight facts, every word should be sayable by everyone. Every sport should be playable by everyone. And I'm not going over the whole gender bias. I'm talking about actual just like skin color bias. Because your skin color is white, you can't say this. You can't use that, right? That's racism. Because your skin color is dark pigmented. You can't do this or you can't say that is racist. Down to textbook theology and grammar, biasing someone off of their skin color, tone, or anything and saying they can't do it because of that is racist. That is the real terminology for racism. Okay? So, yes, am I being biased in a way saying, like, because you're not of the black color persuasion, you can't use a certain N word? Yeah, that's racist. That even for me being white, that is racist against other whites because I'm saying you can't use it because you're white. Same as I don't know if there's anything out there. Like, to be honest with you, I've like whatever anyone of color just called me, I've never been like, oh, you have to be white to say that word. I've never done that. So realistically, I don't know if there is any words like that, another color will say, cannot say. Um, but and it's biased and us as people, if we actually wanted to remove racism completely, you can't take offense because someone said a word. Any word. Let's be honest. Because at that point, you're just selectively saying who can and can't use it because of skin color is racist. Like, for instance, if we was to go back in the day, the biggest form of racism wasn't just the whole picking cotton thing, but it was buses. White people sat in the front, the black people sat in the back, right? Because your skin color was the choice of where you sat on the bus. Okay? If we utilize that, black people can use a certain word and white people cannot. You see it? The section of sitting and who can and can't use because of what? Skin color. So when we'll say Martin Luther King actually made a stance and made a speech, I have a dream, right? For everyone to be equal. No one fell behind that and fell into his actual true dream. Because if we want to fall into a true dream and he wanted equality, equality means everyone is completely equal. There is nothing separating due to skin color. Nothing. I mean, am I wrong or am I right? I'm only pointing that out because, you know, I want to show society as a whole that racism never died. Okay? When they say it's gone, it's no longer here, it is. And the funny thing is, it didn't die, it flipped. Think about that. It went from because you are black to now because you are white. Think of that ground. I'm literally making something that is a true argumentative suggestion to people to understand that it didn't die. It just flipped sides. Okay? It's like saying this in the best way as example. Let's say British people, which is also English, but we'll say and Americans, which is English, right? Two different versions of English. Okay, different ways used. Example here. If we talked about a boot in where I live, that is an object you put on your foot, okay? That may or may not have composite or steel toe. And it is something you wear. As if we go to England, anywhere like that, when someone says boot, they refer to the trunk of a car, okay? Which, again, I can't really understand why that is because when I think of like a trunk, I think of a storage space. Like you're going to a trunk to store something, like, what you would call a chest. Some people call it a trunk. But you also got tree trunks, which is, a part of a tree. But, anyways, getting outside that, I think of a trunk being a storage space because even a tree trunk, that's where squirrels store their nuts. So in a way, that is still a storage space, right? So when we use the word trunk, we mean storage. When you think of boot, you think of clothing, a form of clothing that protects your feet while you walk. Might that be the soles of your foot so you don't have to feel the rocks, sticks, have dirt directly onto your foot contact, or mud. It hits the sole of your boot. But anyways, mind that because I'm not trying to get onto that or make fun of them. I'm just saying, like, we do have different ways we speak, and there's two different versions of English. But anyways, let's say the English, as in the Brits, had muskets, and the English, as in Americans, did not. As an example, let's say one day someone said, I want the sides to be fair. And instead of having 50 muskets on the right, 50 muskets on the left, meaning both Brits and, the US, United States, both having 50 muskets each, and putting them on the best people they have and the best people we have, and being in a fight, it's like saying we want fairness and then equality, and then just saying like all Brits now have to hand every one of their guns to the United States, right? And then the United States are the ones with the guns. That's what I'm bringing to you guys to let you know, like it just switched. So it went from racism being from whites to blacks to now blacks to whites in that terminology of, you know, where white people thought they were dominant and made up rules because of, color, which is segregation, by the way. You're segregating what someone can do, because where they can sit, what they can do because of the color of their skin. Same as now, it is segregating what someone can say due to the color of their skin. It's still segregation. Instead of where to sit, where to stand, it is now what to speak or what someone can say. Okay? But again, it never flipped. And the terminology of guns going from one place to the other is still the terminology of the racism going from one color to the other. Okay? It never changed. There's no equality. Because equality means I could say the N word for being white. Someone of color could say the N word. Someone mixed can say the N word. Someone that is orange. And I love how Eminem calls a certain person Agent Orange because of the fact of, his skin is literal orange. But anyways, orange could say the N word. That would be equality. But no, because I am white, I can't use the N word. Now you just segregated me from being able to use something of the color of my skin. All right? That is racism. I hate to go over stuff like that, but I do feel like as someone who lives in this time and day does need to point things out where history have said things that I feel like they've lied, because it never died. no one actually found equality through Martin Luther King. I mean, yeah, there's things that are now treated equally, but everything is not equal. Okay? Racism is still bound by color of skin. Who can say this? Who can say that? And there's going to be people out there who's going to call me racist for saying that. But at the end of the day, I'm just telling you guys facts. That literally it switched sides. It didn't become equal. It flipped because of color of skin this, because of color of skin that. So don't call me racist for it. But if we want true equality, fuck what the color of your skin matters. It doesn't. Okay? Not to mention, if you are something, more than likely you're taking offense to it because you are. All right? Hate to say it, but there is an F word that is the derogatory version of gay, right? But let's be honest, guys, it's also words and terminology in use. All right, there's two things I do want to kind of go over. And it does get flipped because, and this is going to be adult talk. So if you have a kid, make sure they leave the room. If you're near your kid and you hear this, please get them off the channel. Okay? That is your warning. Now, for the sexual act of intercourse, I'll use the higher term version, so that way if there's still kids talking, they don't know what we're talking about till we get deeper in detail. But this is so parents can still have a chance of hearing it, which is a 2-step warning. But anyways, women come, men sperm. Okay? So when a man is about to produce sperm, he can't say come. And that's through biology. Okay? I'm not being racist with that. Women come, men sperm. Now I do get like it sounds a little better when you say I'm coming instead of I'm about to sperm, but let's be honest, men don't actually come, they sperm. There is a difference, okay? Because what you produce as a man can actually fertilize her egg. What she produces herself, come, is missing that part. Or else she would be able to, um, we'll say relieve that emotion, okay? And then reuse what she poured out of her to put back in her to get pregnant. She can't, okay? But that's showing you there is different biology going on between the two things that people produce. Women come, men sperm, okay? So as men, just say I'm about to release, not come, release, okay? A little better there. A little bit of cover on that. But as I said, there's certain things that I feel like should be deviated by word choice, but due to the color of someone's skin, should never have a deviation. That is actually racism. And I hate to say it, but men, should you ever hit a woman? No. And I hate having to have this argument bias, and there's going to be people out there, well, she thought she could stand up to a man like a man, so I hit her. And no. Again, due to biology, you could take a female who has practiced 8 years in a mixed martial arts and then take a fucking 12-year-old And the 12-year-old could still kick the mixed martial arter's ass as long as he doesn't get put into a lock and understands a little bit about fighting, right? If he knew a little bit about fighting, he wasn't dumb to fighting, he was smart to fighting, knew how to do it. And I don't mean it doesn't have to be mixed martial arts or the same training. I just mean like he's fought before, gotten a few fights, right? And understands what locks are and submissions and stuff like that. If he could understand those and then knew a little bit of a way to counter, that 12-year-old can beat a 20, 25, 28, 30-year-old woman, okay, who has trained mixed martial arts for 8 years, and it's due to muscle mass, okay? Men are biologically stronger than women. I hate to say that, they are. That's why I'm saying a 12-year-old can kick a 20-year-old female's ass. Let's be honest, they can. And it's mainly due to the fact of women, when they went through their DNA steps and processes, didn't really have to fight or hunt. So when we went through the whole bit of, what's the best way I can put this? I'm forgetting the word. It's when dinosaur evolution. Okay. The way the woman's body has evolved to take on the roles they've been given, what they do, right? Which was to cook, to clean mainly back in the day, to do all that. Their bodies evolved to be brittle and soft. As a man, okay, you evolved because of the fact of, cavemen had to hunt mammoths, to fend off other carnivores, large carnivores, to protect their women. So we evolved to gain muscle, to put more on, right? To become stronger and stronger faster as well. We gain muscle faster than women do. We can also put more on than women do. So when you see a fight of where it's like these people trained and blah blah blah, and you see a woman hit for like we'll say 1,000 pounds of pressure, and then you get a man who gets up there and hits for only like 800. If you ever watch those, the man ain't hitting as hard as he can. Okay, when you throw a punch in MMA, you pivot, you twist your wrist. Well, not wrist, but waist. My bad. You stand in a proper stance. You turn to where your shoulder's facing them, and you pivot to where, okay, if you're like me, my left hand is my non-dominant, my right hand is my dominant. So your right hand sits further back. So when you twist and you put the power of your punch into an opponent, okay, because you need to add the power, which is that twisting motion you get on top of throwing your punch. All right. That is a proper technique. So because I am right-handed, my left shoulder faces my opponent. That way, when I pivot, putting my right shoulder to basically become parallel, as in lines up from left to right with my left and right shoulder, okay, is when you're throwing your punch. While you're turning, you are throwing your punch. This is to add power behind the punch you're throwing, okay? If you ever watch any competition, you will see a woman do that. She turns, pivots, and she hits for 1,000. The man just punches. He doesn't pivot. He just punches and throws basically 800 of that 1,000. Okay? If he was to pivot, he would have been at 1,500 to 2,000. Okay? I'm just wanting to point that out. So when you see those on YouTube and you have people gathering the data, he never pivoted. He never actually added the extra power. He just threw a regular straight punch without any actual power going behind it. That competition is already null and void. I hate to say that. It's null and void. Now, can I say there's women out there who aren't born genetically different than other women? There are. I will say that. There is. Okay. So the genetics might actually allow for more muscle, depending on what gets passed on or not. But an average woman, we're going over average, will never reach the muscle mass a man will. Okay? Now, someone who's born with a little bit different DNA down, yeah, they could probably become 3/4 of the strength of a man, if not equal. Okay? But we're going on normal women. Nothing added DNA wise to change different effects. I'm talking about a normal woman. A normal woman will never reach the muscle mass at the same speed as well as a man. Okay? All scientifically proven. Go look up the science, it backs it. Okay? So that's why I'm saying if you have a man who hits a woman just because she wanted equality, we're not naturally equal. Okay? Even if that woman does said get up to 300 pounds, she's probably still only going to punch with about a little bit, like a certain quarter of her weight because the weight behind it, but also at the same time, other things. She's not lunging her whole body at you, Supermaning you. It's still just the pivot, which has a little bit more weight behind it. But if you took a 300-pound woman, a 300-pound man, and let's say it's a natural woman who just ate too much, and a man, right, who just ate too much, the man is still going to outlift, outpunch that other female. Okay? Because, well, not other, I should say just the female that's there with them that is supposed to be equal. We'll say the man is 22, the female is 22. They both worked out their entire fucking life. Okay? And they overate their entire life. And they somehow became only 300 pounds. Because if they ate their entire life and overate their entire life, they could be 500 or the 1,000-pound videos. But anyways, we'll say somehow only reach 300. I guess the workouts help burn a little bit of the calories, right? Down to genetics, that man is still going to be stronger. One, because he builds muscle faster, and men can actually put on more muscle because we're genetically, changed in that genetic area to be the provider and protector. Okay? So the genetics down to everything through evolution is why that is. Okay? Because realistically, everything could have been reversed. Like, imagine if females were the hunter-gatherers and men was the cooks and chefs and the cleaning and the homemade. Then women genetically would have been stronger than men because they would have had to evolve to be able to take up that role. So, just wanted to point that out. It's just the path everybody chose to go down and do, which turned evolution into the way it is. But also at the same time, guys, I'm only giving you facts. That is also backed scientifically and proven. And I'm not saying stuff like, oh, a dude's going to be born on September 5th of 2028, and he's going to be the president of 2035, and his name's going to be Jonathan Adam. I'm not doing that because that's not proven. Okay? I'm not stepping out in bounds and doing shit like that and being completely irrational with what I'm giving you. I'm giving you just straight facts of what everything's doing. And let's be honest, guys, about one more thing before I end up stream here with a video that's been kind of boring because I have nothing playing in the background but the main menu. But that is going to be the equality of men to women because there's women out there saying they are suppressed when realistically through a lot of time there is more suppression happening because men have become aware, courts have become aware. A woman back in the day that had no proof at all could have said that man raped me and he would have been locked up for rape. I'm not lying to you about that. Now they'll actually do more like in-depth search to make sure they can find the DNA and get proof and all that. But at the same time, like they still somewhat take the woman on word. Let's be honest, right? A woman can have intercourse with a man still completely willingly, and then just because when she gets pissed, can say he raped me, and then because the DNA is there to prove that they've had some form of sexual relation, man goes to jail. There doesn't need to be proof of evidence of a video saying for her saying, "No, please, I said no." Literally, the proof is just the DNA that's in her, or on her, I should say, as well, or under her fingernails, right? Because maybe they had a little foreplay. You know, he wanted his back scratched, and you both were into it, and then you just get pissed at him and say it. Then when they scrub your fingernails, his skin follicles are under them, so you can say you scratched him, and boom, he's in jail. Okay? So, no, women still have power. Are you a man who was sexually active with a female? You have no say if the woman keeps the baby or not. By the way, it's your DNA that caused the egg to become fertile, but you still get no say. Literally, you can go to a hospital and you, as a man, right now, can say, I do not want this baby. And guess who it's up to? Her. Yeah, the female you got pregnant. Yep, she's the one who has every bit of the say. And yet you're going to say there's no power behind men or no power behind females, right? Um, it's actually her decision if we pay child support or not. It's not ours. We can't say, "Oh, I didn't want that baby." No, she goes, "Yeah, I'm keeping it." You're fucked. You're paying that child support. She goes to court. Even if it's, let's say, because she doesn't have a lot of money and she chose to do a job she chose to do, which is fucking horrible in pay. She didn't choose anything that actually should support the kid. She chose something that's fucking stupid and ask for help from the court to help pay for a baby. When they do the DNA search and they find out whose DNA got her pregnant, guess who's paying for child support? Ain't her. She didn't have to step up and go find a good job. It's you. You as the male, the man, the provider. Even if you don't want that baby, you're still paying child support. And yet women want to say it's not equal. Women are suppressed. Tell me, how are you suppressed? Not just that, you're going to tell me you make less money, but yet men actually work harder in their jobs and industry, hence why they make more money. They don't sit on their ass. You know, they're actually lifting heavy objects and moving shit around and building and going to construction, going to fucking war with other countries to protect the country we're in. There's a reason men right now are getting paid a lot more than women, especially like if you're looking at something, look at a woman manager, right? Women are good managers. I'll say that they are. But at the end of the day, if you get a woman manager, it is very, very rare. And I mean very rare because there are some out there. I've seen some, but it is very, very rare. Out of 100 men and 100 women, you're probably only going to get 4 women who is offering to do the same labor as the 100 men. All the other females going to be like, it'll break my nail. Oh no, it's too heavy. That's too much work. They want to get paid to sit around more, do the easy shit. They want to make a $22 an hour, being able to sit, talk, and click on a computer, compared to a man who's making 22 an hour, actually doing physical fucking labor. Big difference. There's a reason women are paid less, okay? If women picked up and started doing exactly the same as men, I could foresee women being paid equally. So, no, there's no suppression there. You're not being suppressed. You're suppressing men because you want to do less and get paid the same. Okay? That's reality. I hate having to speak like that and say shit like that because I know women are going to get pissed at it, but it's truth. Okay? Another thing is women can't take accountability very well. They just can't. Okay. If they get caught cheating with their man, oh, it's you. You're the reason. Blah blah blah. There's nothing wrong with me. You're the fucking problem. Yeah, some cases, yeah, men can be the problem, but it's not every case. But every case of a woman cheating, it's always the man. Did you not have issues where you just couldn't be in one relationship and you couldn't fucking speak to him? Did you get out of a relationship because you did not know how to fucking speak to your man? You wanted him to read your fucking mind? Like we're fucking telepathic? Right? But yet we're the problem. Yeah, yeah, men are a problem. Mhm. Also, there's women out there who say, I want conversation, and if something's happening, we need to be able to talk about it. But yet, when a man actually tries to do that, one, they get cheated on. Two, if there's something that the female is actually doing wrong, they can't take accountability over it. I hate to put it that way, but that's legit how it is. And the funny thing is, men are being suppressed, but yet women can have like 8 different things. You have to be tall. You have to make a certain amount of money. You have to have this. But men aren't allowed to do that in the dating relationship. Think of that for a second. Men can't be equal in the dating relationship. If you're going to be able to pick 7 things that I should have, I can't pick 7 things about you. And some of these things, by the way, cannot be helped. Like your height. Oh, you got to be 7 foot tall. You got to literally be like 5 feet taller than me type shit, right? I'm sorry I was born the way I am. My genetics only allowed me to grow to a specific height. I can't help that. I can't go to a doctor and become a fucking Fantastic Four stretch me out. I can't. But yet, when a man wants to go, you got to be beautiful without makeup. I'm sorry, your genetics made you fucking ugly. My genetics made me fucking short. But guess what? You get to hide shit. I don't. Right? A lot of your females nowadays go to a dating app. Filters, makeup. Okay? But yet, a man does a camera angle to make him look a little taller. Oh, he lied. He's bullshit. Don't go date him. He ain't good. Oh, he's only 5 foot tall. He ain't gonna make his money like if he was like 6 foot. Oh, my man's got to make like 6 or 8 figures for me to be able to date him. But yet, if a man actually turned around and asked, like, "Do you have money to support yourself on?" It's a problem. If a man wants equality to go through the household, let's say if I'm paying for groceries, you pay the KUB bill, the cable, right? If I'm paying $800 in groceries a week, you paying $800 a month for something ain't that bad. Because at least if I'm telling you to pay the electricity, that's monthly. If I'm telling you to pay, I don't know, the fucking internet bill, that's monthly. So if I'm having charges add up total per month to be $800, you're actually saving more than I am. Because if I have to spend $800 a week, there's 4 weeks in a month. If we do 800 times 4, that's how much I'm dishing out a month compared to you. Okay, let's elevate that just a little bit. And let's put some little bit of truth behind the words, right? Monthly, if you're spending $800 a month at 12, at we'll say 12 months a year, 800 times 12 is $9,600 you're dishing out a year. Okay? If I was to pay monthly, if I done $800 a week times 4 weeks, because there's 4 weeks in a month usually, 800 times 4 is 3,200. If I done 3,200 times 12 months a year is $38,000. 38,400 to be exact. But where you're only paying a measly what, it's like 6,000, I'm literally tripling that at the end of the year. And I've only asked you to put like a quarter of the investment into the house, let's be honest. And women want to throw that out. But I know it's not $800 a month for groceries. I'm just saying, like, on the overall up and up, if I'm asking you to pay for the monthly utility, which is the internet, the power to the house, you cooking, you cleaning, you're only expensing out $6,000 to $7,000 a year. When even if I done $300 or $400 grocery bills a week, because we got to eat every week, and I have to have a job that can actually produce the money for that, I'm literally paying 20,000 plus a year. You're at 7,000, I'm at 20,000. See the difference? I'm paying over half of what you are that year. Over half. Because 7,000, let's say you're doing $7,000 even. At $20,000, if I'm doing that even a year, 7 times 2 is 14. I'm literally almost paying double. I'm literally 1,000 short of paying double. If I'm doing $20,000 a year and you're doing 7, 7 and 7 is 14. Add another 7, that is 21. Okay? If I was to do 1,000 more dollars a year on some other payment for any reason, like taking you out to eat maybe, instead of just having the groceries at home, right? If we're adding that in, we go to 21,000. At 21,000, if I'm a man and I'm paying that a year for your lifestyle, for the sustain of everything around, like, for the house to be fed and eat, to do X, Y, and Z per week. That's 21,000. Okay, if I was doing that a week. Guess what? 7 times 3 is 21. So if you're paying 7,000, we can deduct 1/7 out of that because you're paying the 7. And if I'm doing 21, I'm basically 7 times 2. Okay, I'm literally paying for basically 90% of the shit still almost. But we'll say 75. I'm paying 75%, you're only paying 25. Okay? When a man asks for that, that is not too much. Let's be honest. If you're paying $7,000 a year, I'm paying $21,000 a year. Okay? That's oof, guys. That is horribly oof. When females can't use their brain to see the objective there and see the man is still doing literally 75% of the work. They're only doing 25 for that household. They're only putting 25% into that household. If you want equality, women, we should be able to split that down the middle. So if the total yearly cost was $30,000 in the lifestyle you were running, if it's $30,000 a year, I should only be paying $15,000 a year, and you should be paying $15,000 a year. That's split down the middle, and that's equality. Is that what happens? No, because more than likely, if it was $30,000 a year, you might put 10,000 in. I'm putting 20, which means men are still the providers. That's not equal because that's still allowing you to save the pocket, to get into the bank, have a little more cash, while the men is expensing 90% of stuff. It's harder for the man to save money in that aspect as it is for women. If you think about that, think about it for a second. If I'm paying 20,000, you're paying 10,000. It's harder for men to save, especially if they're handing you money to go to the store, go out and eat, or treat you and a friend, or maybe you have a son, so he's like, well, here, I'll take your son also out to eat too. He's expensing more from his bank that way and utilizing more of his savings to finance your life than you're actually throwing into it. So where if you literally could have expensed $20,000 a year and you only paid 10,000, you're making $10,000 a year. Okay? He's only making actually less because he's expensing more than that. Because more likely he's paying for the food at home, your dinner dates, he's paying for your nails, He's paying for your gas. He's paying for this and that. So you're actually being able to save a little more after the fact. Let's be honest. He's paying for a lot of your shit. That's not equal. So, with that being said, with you putting less effort into the house, I feel like the man should have the say. Not just that, the man is also probably dropping the fucking mortgage on the fucking property and house, meaning he is actually probably paying for the house you're living out of. Unless you're actually one of the women that's actually pretty chill, what I call sexy women, who actually will help with the household shit. If you're actually one of the sexy women, continue being awesome. Because if you're actually helping with the expenses at home, like helping bring food in when he might be short, or, keeping the KUB on while he's paying for the food, or, actually being able to divvy up that bill and make it easy on both sides. If you're one of those women who actually take everything 50-50, I love you. Stay awesome. Make sure you raise your kid or daughter to do the same, because you guys are going to be awesome, and that kid and daughter is going to turn out to be awesome. But if you're outside of that loop, please don't open your fucking mouth. Nobody wants to hear it. So, yeah, there are women out there that are very awesome. And for you that actually are, stay amazing. You're beautiful. You're not toxic. You're not ugly. But for the women who are, keep that fucking mouth shut. Okay? Keep it shut. Nobody wants to hear it. Society doesn't want you around. We don't. Just live your day-to-day life as if you're just trying to get through it. Please. You're not amazing. You're not award-winning. And I'm pretty sure there's not a better guy out there than what you already got, because you don't deserve that 1%. You don't deserve the top role for a male human being. Okay? You don't. The women that actually deserve that top spot are faithful, loyal, helpful, caring, equal provisioned women. What I put out is the same thing you should be, which is also equality as an equal provision. If I'm paying 50,000, you better be paying 50,000, right? That way there's no ridiculousness going on inside of relationships. And the funny thing behind that is there's women out there who use men just for free food, use men to what's called trapping them, so they get free money, so they don't have to work as hard in a job. Let's be honest. A man can get a girl pregnant. Once that baby is conceived and popped out, guess what? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't like you no more. Goes to another man that might have a little bit more financial stability, then gets more finances from the man she just left because of the kid who has to pay child support, right? So not only are you making $1,000 a month from him, you're actually, it could be 500, depending on what the actual payments are set up for. I've seen some for like 1,200 a month. So while that man is paying $1,200 a month, you're probably living under someone who had the same stability and equity as your household that you just fucking left, able to raise the equity of the household you just moved to. Just because you're making free money that you didn't have to go to a job for. The only job you did was lay on your back and spread your legs for like what, 30 minutes to an hour? And for 1 30 minutes to an hour, you get paid 18 years of $1,200 a month is crazy. And yet men suppress women, right? But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hopefully I didn't piss too many people off, and hopefully we get facts and understanding out there a little bit so we can actually see how life actually is, and for women to actually understand the outcomes of how men actually are and can be treated, and maybe open a few minds to, better themselves both on the men and women side, and actually create more prosperity than hatred, and actually build the human race to become more elegant than destructive. But as always, love you guys. Next time.